Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me here at Unapologetically Progressive. Now, if you remember, right before the election, Donald Trump snagged the endorsement of a Palestinian group in Michigan. Of course, that gave him the state of Michigan and persuaded a lot of people on the left to just stay home from the election. They didn't support Harris for whatever reason. I won't even speculate why the Palestinian group didn't when she was the only one of the two that had a plan to actually help the Palestinians. But I told you before the election what Donald Trump was planning to do. There have been clamoring from within the Trump camp, from like Don Jr. and Jared Kushner, about what the Trump organization and what Trump's plans were for Gaza. Their goal was to clear out Gaza and create a Trump resort in the area and give the rest of the land to the Israelis. That was their goal. That's what they stated. I made that very clear on this channel. I made it clear on social media. I made it clear to anyone who was considering staying home or considering voting for Donald Trump because of the Palestinian situation. But nobody listened. And now today, Donald Trump announced, after alluding to it a few weeks ago, he has announced now that the Palestinians in Gaza will be forced to be relocated. Whether they want to or not, they don't have a choice. He said they should want to be relocated. So keep that in mind the next time, if you live on the Gulf Coast and you get hit by a hurricane. Instead of rebuilding, he's just going to tell you to be relocated. When you live in Oklahoma and a tornado runs through your town or city, place you've known your entire life, is he going to just tell us, oh, don't rebuild that? Tornadoes come through there all the time. You shouldn't rebuild it. Let's relocate you somewhere else, regardless if you want to or not. Could you imagine, with what happened in Asheville, North Carolina, what Donald Trump would be saying to those people? Exactly. Now, it's just really pathetic that people bought it, that people thought he actually had a plan. Don't ever trust somebody when they say they have a plan that they won't tell you about. The problem is, it sold us out. It sold our government out to fascists. And as we speak, Donald Trump and his cronies are rewriting our federal government. They are changing it without any thought for what it's going to do to other people. Now, people may think I'm alarmist, but guess what? I'm not. People told me I was being an alarmist all last year and all the year before when I talked about Project 2025 on this channel. Whenever I talked about Project 2025 on Twitter, Facebook, anything, right? People told me I was overreacting, that I was an alarmist, that none of that could possibly happen. In the last 2.5 weeks, he has instituted almost all of Project 2025. At least everything he could do by the stroke of a pen, he has done. The National Weather Service still exists because it hasn't gone through Congress yet. A national abortion ban hasn't happened because Congress hasn't passed it yet, but it's been introduced. He has banned the existence of trans people. His people are also aimed to create a national law banning gay marriage. You see the problems here. Now Donald Trump wants to get rid of the Department of U.S. Aid, which aids nations across this country. Across the globe. Now, I'm not saying that things like USAID shouldn't be investigated to make sure their money is going where it's being said it's going. Make sure those countries are following whatever requirements there are for that money. I can get behind that. I could also understand a pause in aid, because I've seen that happen before, where there was a pause in aid while the new administration made sure that it was, aligning. The money was going to places that aligned with our values. And so I understand that. But that's not what's happening here. Donald Trump is literally changing the entirety of our government. Much of it's been stopped in the courts. But how long can the courts hold up? Will the Supreme Court stand with him, or will they stand with the American people? Make sure you're calling your representatives to let them know that you don't support a fascist agenda, that you do not support programs that are aimed to make the rich richer and the poor poorer. Anyways, thank you for joining me here. A quick little update. If you've made it this far anyway, check out my channel roughly between 5 and 7, Tuesday through Friday going forward. We should have videos up every single one of those days of the week as well. They should fall between 5 and 7, whatever videos I have. I'll try to post one at 5 and one at 7 if I have to. But check somewhere between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock every day, Tuesday through Friday, and there should be a new video up going forward at least through the month of February. Anyhow, I'll see you down the road.